The US president says a deal with Iran has been largely negotiated and the details will shortly be announced. In a post on Truth Social, Donald Trump says he had a very good call with regional and Gulf leaders, including a separate call with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. He also says a memorandum of understanding pertaining to peace in capital letters was also discussed. He added the agreement also includes the opening of the Strait of Hormuz. Well, Iranian state media says Tehran will continue managing the strait. The Fars news agency says that although Iran has agreed to permit ships to transit through the waterway, the numbers allowed will not return to levels before the war. And it also says permission to pass isn't guaranteed to be free. Well, Pakistan, that's the key mediator in all of this, says it welcomes the, quote, renewed momentum towards peace efforts led by Donald Trump. Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif hailed the US president for hosting what he calls a very useful and productive phone call with regional leaders. Now, Sharif said Islamabad views the latest outreach as constructive and indicated it's open to hosting more rounds of discussions if needed. Now, we've heard from Iran's foreign ministry spokesman, Ismail Baqai. He's posted on social media saying, in the Roman mind, Rome was an undisputed centre of the world. Yet the Iranians shattered that illusion when Marcus Julius Philippus marched east against Persia. The campaign didn't result in Roman victory. It ended in a peace established on Sasanian terms. The emperor had to come to terms. Well, that's one of the reactions there from the Iranian government. Let's go now to Tohid Asadi, joining us live now from the Iranian capital, Tehran. Tohid, clearly there a nod to the Persian Empire's legacy and might, if you like. Will Iran view this potential deal or a memorandum of understanding or whatever the context of that is as a victory on its terms?
Well, I think it's too early to jump into the conclusion to frame it as a victory, as we're dealing with a very brutal situation at the time, being surrounded by a cloud of mistrust when it comes to Tehran's vantage point pertaining to the United States. And we know that it is not like a situation that we can call as easy as a piece of cake. There are so many untangled knots. And we are talking about a memorandum of understanding, a sort of essentially fundamental framework to pave the way for diplomacy to be tried further. But whether this is going to be ending up in a long-lasting solution or another round of confrontation is something that we have to keep waiting. Tehran says that Washington and Iran are edging towards finalizing this memorandum of understanding. But we know that, speaking of the demands from the Iranian side, at least 3 points top the list of priorities for the country. First, the security assurances Tehran is looking for to make sure that at the end of the day, it's not going to be another round of confrontation, specifically seeing the very fact that this country was in the middle of the negotiations twice over the past less than a year when they faced another round of escalation. And of course, the second point in that regard is the sanction relief, and that makes it related to the nuclear dossier of the country. And last but not least is the U.S. imposed blockade on the Iranian ships and vessels and oil tankers in particular, which is putting a serious negative impact on Iran's oil exports. And in return, we are talking about the situation at the Strait of Hormuz, which is further complicating the situation. Whether or not all these sticking points, in addition to which I can refer to some others such as war reparation, Iran regional relations, the ballistic missiles and others, could be resolved within the trajectory of diplomatic engagement is something that we have to keep waiting.
All right, thank you very much. Our correspondent there, Tohid Asadi, speaking to us from Tehran.